So the new M. Night Shyamalan film is released.
The new M. Night joint.
Oh yeah. It's good.
It's
Knock at the Cabin.
Great.
Everyone can breathe a sigh of relief. M. Night Shyamalan for me is the most nerve-wracking director because there's no one I want not to miss more. Mm-hmm. Because every time M. Night misses, people get more ammo for saying M. Night's bad.
Every time M. Night Shyamalan fails, a child dies.
Exactly.
You know.
And I love children.
A puppy dies.
Exactly. And I can tolerate puppies. So I need M. Night to always succeed, and he has.
And you know what?
Lord.
You know what? I know a lot of people M. Night, he sucks. Those people need to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He's great.
He's not back. He's always been there.
Okay. Look at his career.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. The Happening.
Yeah.
After Earth.
Yeah.
Lady in the Water.
Yeah.
Airbender. So that's 4 films.
All masterpieces.
4 film specials. 4 films that I would say are like his flops.
Yeah.
How many films has he done outside of that?
Fucking 20.
He's
a madman.
So what? So what? So he sucks because of 4 bad films.
Are we forgetting? To be fair, people fucking on which one were the other ones people don't like?
Old.
All of the others.
Old, which first off, Old is excellent.
Old is great.
It's
the beach that makes you old. How can you hate that?
Literally, people go the acting's bad. The acting's great.
Yeah, well, the beach makes you old. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, the beach makes you old.
And
how is that?
This cabin knocks.
This cabin doesn't make you old. Doesn't make you young.
But it does knock.
Does knock. Oh, knocks.
What the fuck? This is Knock at the Cabin. It's so it's not really a horror. It's like an apocalyptic.
It's a
thriller.
I would say it's more. It's a very, very, very old school thriller.
Yeah, it's a cabin.
Mm-hmm.
4 people knock on the cabin.
They do knock on that cabin.
And they're basically saying, well, what are we going to do in terms, because I feel like it's a film that works best if you go in
cold. Yeah, I mean, the trailer basically says 4 people knock at the cabin.
Well, that's the weird thing. The concept doesn't really go beyond the first 10 minutes. It just kind of keeps doing that.
Which sounds bad.
But in a good way.
But it's one of them where it's because it's less about that. It's less about it's exploring the concept, but it's more that question of these 4 people come to you come to this place and say you've got to kill, between these 2 dads and this daughter, one of them has to die, and one of them has to be killed by one of them. That is the ultimate question of it. Yeah, but it's like
those shitty TikTok what ifs. You see, POV when you have to kill your dad.
So basically, Knock at the Cabin is a 100-minute TikTok.
But it works.
It works. No, it's because I think what's interesting about the film is so much of it is essentially about answering that question. Yeah. But it also puts you in that mindset of both sides. Yeah. The people who are asking the question and the people who have to give that answer.
It genuinely raises the question. Would you kill your family if it meant saving the world?
Would you kill your dad?
Exactly. This is the important question.
Yes.
We're all figuring out.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, they do come to an answer.
Yeah.
We won't
spoil the answer.
I will say that I think as good as the film is, and we'll get into why it's good in a sec, I really want to optimistically believe that it's accidental, but I feel like there were some very not great messages throughout to do with sexuality, but I don't the way they kind of paint, especially with their use of the word purity by the end.
Yeah.
And how they all plays out and stuff. Which is unfortunate.
I think what it is with that is that I think the way M. Night has been as a director is I think he has a very almost childlike way of looking at certain things. Yeah. And I think that's
there's no other director where I genuinely believe this is a fucky wucky more than M. Night.
But it's because I think what it is that I don't think there's any actual ill intent in that. I think what it is that he he's a very sincere and earnest director in terms of how he portrays a message and how he, you know, and it's because it's interesting because Knock at the Cabin almost has like a Spielberg feel to it, where it has that sort of, it has this certain like optimism and warmness around it, which is very interesting given how dark and existential the concept is.
Well, even Dave Bautista's character, the character he plays is the most obvious, especially the fact that character is played by Dave Bautista, who is obviously, his arm is bigger than me.
Who's amazing in it, by the way. He's amazing. He's excellent in it.
But the fact that he's cast in that role, you're constantly thinking this really meek, humble, kind man, you're thinking he's going to snap at any point. But he never does.
No, he's just this kind soul.
Yeah, he's just genuinely a nice guy trying to do,
who is completely sympathetic. Yeah, and is completely sympathetic to how they feel and wants, like, you know, and
bro, he collects grasshoppers. He's sick as fuck.
He's a teddy bear. But like, but like,
he goes home and plays Animal Crossing.
You know, like, he's got like a room and it's just full of like Hello Kitty like things. He's just like,
that's a bit weird. But then we're bordering on.
He's like, he's basically an e-girl. Like,
so puts on like his cat ears, opens up Discord.
He's a cat boy. But like, it's an interesting film because I think when you look at the trailers, it's a very, very like somber, like, oh, like, you know, one of these people's gonna have to die, and oh no. But it's like, but then when you watch the film, it's a very emotional story.
It's surprisingly life affirming.
Yeah, and it's like this story of love and also like the sacrifices that come with it.
Yes.
But also, not necessarily to like the grace of good, but like it's less a film like about like the sacrifices that you have to make to like make the world a better place, but more like humanity. Yeah. And that idea of even though, like, because obviously a lot of it revolves around this family of two dads, and there's a key theme of the homophobia that they faced. Yeah. And that kind of, you know, where humanity is beautiful, but at the same time, you have those ugly sides of those people who are disgusted by them. But it's like that thing of they still carry on. And I think it's a very interesting like film because I think that emotional, because like Old, which was, you know, M. Night's last film, it's so interesting because Old was like a very detached and cold movie on purpose. Like I don't know how a lot of people did not understand that the dialogue and the way people acted in that film was completely on purpose. Yeah. And I don't really understand how like a lot of people missed that. Yeah. I was just going, oh, like the acting sucks. It's like, I've seen those actors in tons of other movies. They're incredible. And I think the acting in Old is incredible. Yeah. Because it's very deliberate. Yeah. You can clearly tell it's a very deliberate choice, and it's a very interesting choice because a lot of that film is about like, it's about how these people who are so fucking logic driven end up in this bizarre situation where they're on the beach that makes you old, and it's like, but it's that thing of like, when it happens, you hear them come to terms with it, and they're trying to justify it, and they're constantly talking. It's like, because these people are almost robots, and them becoming old kind of shows their humanity. Yeah, it makes them become human, and I think it's what a lot of that film is about, and that kind of becoming human, and like also the beast that makes you old. It's the beast that makes you old, but like, I feel like it's interesting because to me that's what that was. But Knock at the Cabin is like, it's as human as you get. Yes. Fucking like it's you know, like Dave Bautista walks in and he loves humanity. Yeah. He loves it, and he's like, and it's like, it's almost like a self-insert almost of M. Night Shyamalan. Yeah. Because because obviously like belief and stuff is like a really big theme of a lot of his things. Like obviously Unbreakable. Yeah. That whole trilogy of films is about belief. Yeah. And a lot of that thing of like, if you believe it, then that's, you can do it. Yeah. Like, you know, a lot of that's about like being like, you know, and that thing of like how like these people, obviously like Bruce Willis's character in Unbreakable is like, for the most part, it's like, you don't know, like, is he a hero? Like, you know, has he got powers, or is it literally just one of those things? But when you start to believe enough, that is, you become that. And it's like same with like Split. Yeah. A lot of that's about like that belief and that kind of, he, you know, that you know, him, like James McAvoy in Split, it's like he believes that he can do that.
Yeah.
Because to him that's reality, and that's what a lot of his films have been about. And it's like, and to me this is kind of the crux of Thanos, where like a lot of it is belief. It's belief in, you know, religion. It's belief in love. It's belief in humanity. That the whole thing revolves around that, and that kind of the sacrifices that you make as a human being, and also and how, what those mean in the future, and like making sure it's like, you know, it's like in that, you know, that whole question of the film of who do you kill?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you've got these two dads and then a young daughter who's got this bright future ahead of her. And it's like, they could, you know, kill, one of the dads could die, or the little girl could die. And it's like, the world could be saved, but also one of those people won't have a future anymore.
Yeah.
And it's a very interesting film because it's so thought-provoking.
Yeah.
And I did not, and it's one way, like, I expected that somewhat because it's M. Night. And M. Night's very good at that. And it's like, but I think what's interesting with this one is just that emotional center to it.
Yeah.
Like, the chemistry between the two dads, and even just the whole family in general, is fucking outstanding.
Yeah.
Like, I think all of them are incredible. The little girl, I think, is excellent in it.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things I love about the film is just, they show, like, they show so much by just putting that camera at someone's face.
Yeah, there's a lot of intense close-ups, which
like the film, like the way it's shot.
Oh, it's shot brilliantly.
It's incredible. Like every single shot has a purpose to it, and like the use of like light and stuff like that. It is so confident.
Yes.
In how it's shot,
which
exactly. Owl's at that same thing as well, and like he knows how to shoot a picture. Like that's the that's the best thing about it. Like he knows how to do it, and it looks incredible.
No, exactly. Like he uses the intense close-ups. In my opinion, I think it really obviously highlights the humanity. Of everything.
Yeah. And like that pain and almost a lot of that situation, exactly. And it does so much just by doing that.
Yeah, the film never forgets, and it never lets you forget that it's about humanity. It's about people.
Yeah.
And so obviously, you know, the entire way through, the choice isn't, you know, I mean, it's not a choice of, oh, which of these 3 fucking cardboard cutouts are gonna die.
Yeah.
It's a genuine human.
It's a genuine,
choice.
and I love how so much of it is about that. You know, it's almost like a debate between belief and disbelief, where it's like, you know, you've got one of the dads is completely against it.
Yeah.
But you can see with the other one, they're starting to, you know, and it's that thing of that divide and that kind of, you know, you've got someone who is completely dismissing it and dismisses it very much to the end, like does not change, and it's like, but then someone else who pretty quickly is starting to believe it, and it's that kind of, you know, and again, like the whole thing revolves around belief, and that kind of belief of, if you do this, if you believe that this will help humanity, then it will. Yeah. And that kind of thing of like, and it's just a very interesting way of handling it, and I also just think as well, like, it's interesting because it is, you know, it's a relationship with 2 dads. Yeah. Which I think is it's very interesting how the film tackles it. Yeah. Where it's like, you know, where there's that thing where they make that connection with that, oh, it's a house with 2 dads. It's not mum and a dad or something like that. It's not, you know, and it's that moment where they all kind of, these 4 people sort of say to them, like, they did not know that. Yeah. And it's almost like they want to just be like, this is not a homophobic attack almost, which is like, which is a very interesting scene, but in a way it's interesting as well, because it's like, I think that scene shows their humanity. Yes. Where it's like, they tell them, like, we're not attacking you, we're not doing this, you know, we're like, this is just what happens. This is just the situation we found ourselves in. And I think that's what's very interesting about the film, is how they very quickly humanize these people. Yeah. And that's what I love, is that they don't, obviously the first scene is, which is in the trailer, is Dave Bautista walking up to the little girl, and he's very warm with her. No, it's a lovely scene. Yeah, it's a beautiful scene. Again, the use of close-ups there, it's incredible. Like, you know, and it's like that sort of, like, the way it gets more disorienting throughout. Yeah, and it's like showing Dave Bautista's fucking thought process. It's beautiful. And it's like, and that thing of just, he is heartbroken that he has to do this. Yeah. But he also deep down is a very kind, loving person. Yeah. And it's like, I think it's just really interesting that how, like, those things come together, and it's like, again, it's such a deliberately crafted movie. Every single shot, every single moment is so meticulously like thought about.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 100 minutes as well.
Yeah.
Beautiful length, but like
beautiful.
It's nice to have a film that's not fucking 4 hours long. But like, but as far as the pacing is beautiful.
Yeah.
It doesn't, you know, it's a slow burn, but it never feels like it's wasting time.
Yeah.
It never feels like, and even though, like, you know, a lot of it's very much the same. It doesn't feel repetitive. It doesn't feel because it constantly gives you more.
Yeah.
It adds another layer to it. It gives you pieces that it's like, and it makes you come to your own conclusion.
Yeah.
Which I think is really smart. And I think what's great about it is M. Night Shyamalan doesn't try to overcomplicate. He knows that deep down this is a old school thriller, and he doesn't try to do anything crazy with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't, and that's
no. The film even obviously gives itself a very nice structure through what the actions of the fucking four intruders.
Yeah, and
it
how
gives
like
itself that natural structure.
Yeah, and how like those characters are built and how like the past.
It never deviates. It's
it's
very straightforward from the second it starts.
Yeah, and I think it's completely, and that's the thing, it's on purpose.
Yeah,
it's completely like, I mean, obviously when the film starts, it opens up with like a Universal logo from like the 80s.
Yeah,
and it's very clear the vibe it's going for.
I will say, good film. Fuck the opening credits. Fuck the spacing of that font. That pissed me off so much. The fucking spacing on that font. And like, you go
1 star. I hate this movie now.
Shit film. And like, go fucking try again next time, mate. Maybe this time download an actual fucking good font. Learn how to use fucking Photoshop, you hack fraud.
To be fair, his credits on his best suits. I remember when Split.
Also, holy shit, those credits were so fucking fast.
I know, yeah.
Like you read the thing and suddenly it's like there was no fucking.
It's like they were all like 1.5 speed.
Yeah, exactly. and Night knew it was the fucking boring part of the film, so he was like, "Fuck, get through." You fucking, even though you made it, then did it on 2 times speed.
It's like the ending of Split, like the end credits. It's just it's the credits, but in the background it's just Split, like just all over the screen. Like it's just like, you know, like when you have a really small image on like Windows.
Yeah.
You put it as your background. So what it does is it just gives you that image like 50 times. That's what it basically.
No, again, that he actually did that. That's how he decided it.
Because he's based.
He is based.
That's how people do it. He should have done it in Comic Sans.
He should have. That would have actually had good fucking spacing. But no, really good film.
It's great. I absolutely loved it.
Really optimistic.
I really, really loved it. M. Night doesn't miss.
He does not miss.
He's
2023 started, y'all.
Like, M. Night, I love him. I love that man.
I know. He's a director. I remember, like, you know, I feel like at the beginning of everyone's cinephile journey, I feel like you go through a phase where you're like, yeah, no, M. Night, pretty mid. And then you go, oh, I'm fucking stupid.
You actually like realise how stupid you are.
Yeah, because you watch one of his films.
Yeah, and then you go, wait, this actually fucking rocks. Like, this is sick. Like, this is actually like some of the like.
Maybe I am the happening star.
Like, I just like. You spend like 5 minutes watching this film in a shot where I don't know how you can't end up loving it.
No, exactly.
Like watching just like that, like without giving away spoilers, the shot when that weapon is used and the camera follows it.
Yeah.
I like might have came a little bit. Like I was like, yo, like
those weapons were sick as fuck.
it was sick. I like when cameras do things.